Marvel has represented almost every kind of Canadian, but here's one group they've been quietly avoiding for over 50 years, and their most famous character is literally from that group's backyard. Canada has 3 official Indigenous groups: First Nations, Inuit, and the Métis. Marvel has characters from the first 2, the Métis, basically invisible. And here's where it gets weird. Wolverine is from Alberta, and one of his earlier writers literally wrote that his mother was Native Canadian and he grew up feral in the mountains. That's not a random detail. That's a real Canadian story. We're more than just European fathers and Native mothers. We're our own nation, but we were never accepted anywhere. Not by Canadians, not by Canadian society. And we were banned from the reservation. So we lived on the edges, on roadside, in the wilderness, never allowed to settle. That's called road allowance. That's my history. I'm Métis. So when you picture Logan alone in the mountains, he wasn't alone. My people were there. While the RCMP was forcing First Nations onto reservations, we were already living in those mountains at the edges, and we built a whole culture in the places nobody else wanted. But here's where it gets wild. When Marvel finally made an Origins comic, they based Logan's family on a real person, a real Métis woman from Alberta named Lady Lougheed. She married into one of the most powerful families in Canadian history, and she spent her whole life hiding that she was Métis, just to survive in Canadian colonial society. That is Logan's story, word for word, real life. Marvel took her story, used it, and still never said the word Métis. Not in the comics, not in the movies, not once in 50 years. That's not an accident. You don't accidentally erase the same people over and over again for 50 years. Here's the thing about Black Panther. Marvel can legally say, we need a black actor for this role because the character is black. That's allowed. It's called authentic casting, but that rule has to be applied to everybody equally. The moment Marvel admits Wolverine has Indigenous roots, they have to ask why they kept casting a white Australian. So instead, they just never admit it. No acknowledgement, no Métis identity, no problem. Except Hugh Jackman keeps the job, and entire people stay erased. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Disney. They all called themselves allies of Indigenous people, but when it actually counted, when acknowledging the truth would have maybe cost them something, they chose the Australian and loudly modeled Deadpool and Wolverine after John Candy. A comedian rose to fame on SCTV, a Canadian TV show where Indigenous Canadians simply didn't exist. The same Canada, just without the Métis in it. Again, Marvel didn't forget the Métis. Forgetting is accidental, and this was a choice. And it has been the same choice for 50 years.